Hey guys, TLE here, and what do we got? We got our Dragon Duel champion, 2023 at YCS Philadelphia. What's your name?
I'm Shane Gurney, and I just topped the Dragon Duels for YCS Philly 2023.
And what did you play?
I played the best deck of all time, Mathmech, obviously.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah. So for the main deck, it's a Type 40. I'm on 3 circular. Rick, my boy, he did nothing wrong. Bring him to 3. 2 diameter. Diameter is really good, but now that you have other normal summons in the deck, you don't want to be bricking on him. I think 2 is fine. 1 for turn 1, 1 for the crackback. Very nice. For your one-ofs, you change some ratios. 1 addition, 1 sigma, 1 nabla, and 1 subtraction. Addition and subtraction might as well be the exact same card, but you play 1 of each this way. If you draw both of them, 1's not dead. Sigma is both a fine extender to draw in hand, but most of the time you want to send it off of circular, so you can special summon it, and then, you know, that's the 1 card circular combo. And now a new card, which you didn't used to play, but now you do, is Mathmech Nabla. Nabla is really good in cases where you need to use your new normal summon in that new 1 card combo. Instead of dumping Sigma, you're going to dump Nabla. This way you can bring it back, and then Nabla can tag out for the 3rd material you need for your Super Factorial to be live.
Is there a reason you didn't play 2 Sigma?
So I was considering playing 2 Sigma because of
case, like,
the
Cash banish it,
Kashira matchup. I did have it banished once during Swiss, which was really annoying, but overall it didn't really matter. I think that, like, the deck has enough recoverability and link spam ability where even if this does get banished, either on turn 1 from Cash or turn 2 if they, like, I don't know, DD Crow you or something, you still have enough gas in the tank to play through whatever it is. So it's a fine one of. Drawing it cuz kind of suck because you really do want to circular dump it, so 1 is fine.
Alright, cool.
So that was just your Mathmech. For your non-Mathmech, you're on 3 Parallel Exceed, the best card in the deck. Every time I drew this card, I think I won. I don't think I lost the match where I drew this card. It is so insanely good. For your 3 new cards from Syak, you're on 3 Firewall Defensor. Defensor is a fan-made card. This card is practically like everything the deck could ever want. Defensor, if it's used as link material from the board, special summons any 1 Firewall monster from your deck, excluding itself. This is crazy. This card represents both a free rank 4 and 4 link materials on board off of 1 normal summon. It is very good. If you draw these 2 together, you're just winning the game. You're going normal summon this, link Karibo, Chin Link 1 special, Chin Link 2 special, and then from there you have like 5 material on board, and you're winning the game. It is, Defensor is so crazy good. It allows for all these fun new combo lines. It lets you play new cards in the extra. This card is fan-made. I love this card. Absolutely great addition to the pool. And then the 1 card you're specialing off with Defensor, Guardian. Guardian, like Defensor, if it's used as link material and sent to the graveyard, special, or does something, this one will special summon itself from the graveyard, but it's banished if it leaves the field. That doesn't really come up a lot, but because you're always using this to Z summon, it's going back to the graveyard. So like on turn 3, you can go Splash Mage, revive this, and then Splash Mage and this into the Link 3 transcode, and then special this, and then that's access code, or any other Link 4 you want, and you haven't even transcoded yet. So this card also very good. It does suck to draw, but sometimes it is a decent normal summon. Like this plus circular is not bad, because keep in mind this is 2 free Link material. That's all for your engine monsters. For your spell traps, we're on 3 Signet. It's Rhoda. Can't believe this card is standard, at 3. 3 Small World. There is a bridge for almost every monster in this deck to almost any other monster in this deck for free. This card, a lot of people don't play it because it's a neg 1, but like, so is Signet Mining. I would say these 2 cards are equally as powerful. I love this card. One of the best things you can do is, like, you know, end of your massive combo, if you're playing against super heavy, you can go like activate this, reveal any Cyburst, and then any Cyburst can bridge into Parallel Exceed, and then from there Exceed can turn itself into Droll and Lockbird. And if you do that, the super heavy approach just scoops. It's over. Okay. And now for your one-ofs, 1 call by because Droll and Shifter are in the format and I'm not trying to lose. One triple tactics. One was fine today. I drew it twice during Swiss. When it came up, it was good. It was really good against Brandon. It won me a game against that because I stole his MJ, and then from there I was just able to swing for game. I don't think today I used the effect to draw 2, actually. I always either used it to steal, or if they, like, slightly interrupted me with, like, an Ash or something, and I was still able to do the combo, right before I ended my turn, I would just slap this down and rip something out their hand. Or, one time, they Ashed me, but it didn't really matter because my hand was, like, cracked out. So right after they Ashed me, I just activated this, looked at their hand, and sniped the nib out of it, and I was like, oh, cool, so now I'm winning the game. And then the last one, Equation, Searchable Monster Reborn, very nice on the crackback. For your last trap, Super Factorial, it's everything. It is your entire deck.
Yeah, God card.
This deck is Super Factorial Turbo. I don't recommend playing 2 of this. It's also why I don't play Desires. I think if you're playing 2 of this, your deck is just worse. Like, if you draw 2 of this, like, that is really, really bad. You might actually lose that game then. 1 is all you really need. I've never been in a situation where I've had to either hard make a second Laplacian or activate a second one of these in a grind game, because the deck is so good at killing. It's like there is no grind game. You're just either killing them that turn or you're losing. For your hand traps, there's a lot. So 3 Ash, best generic card in the entire game. 3 Droll because I like to beat Super Heavy Samurai. 3 Gamma and the Driver. So this was like the MVP both days I played. So this is crazy. If you activate Small World or Signet or Circular in hand, and so I guess I'll do the Signet and Small World example first. If you activate Signet and Small World and they either Ash you or Droll you Resolution, and you have this in hand, you win the game. Because you then Gamma them, and it's like, oh cool, I lose the game now. My opponent got 2 free materials on board. And you can really easily convert these into something good. The deck does need Cybers monsters to go into its extra deck a lot, but you can use like Alan Bershin to tribute these off to special one from grave, and you can use Nabla to tribute one of these guys off to special another Mathmech from the deck. So these 3 are crazy. Also, it won me games going second. It's like the greatest going second hand trap of all time, probably.
No wonder it got
Thank God this card is going to 1.
Yeah, it's going to 1.
I'm so glad I never have to see this card again after that. And then for your last,
too powerful.
Yeah, and then for your last hand traps, 2 Ogre. It's good against Super Heavy, but I don't think it's very good against anything else in the format. I think it's decent against Pirelli, but I found 2 was enough. Also, this card is not a good Small World bridge. I don't play any bridges for it, so you can't really Small World with anything. The only thing you do is like this into like something else, into like an Ash. And then for the last 2, Valor. It is the perfect Small World bridge. You can go from any light monster deck to any other light monster deck using this. 0 attack is good, so you can go like, you can even add this to your hand if you want. You can go from like the Fire Mathmech into this because it's Fire, and then from this to this because it's 0 attack. All of these hand traps are just perfect to work with Small World. I'm not playing Imperm because that card, A, if you draw it off a Decode Talk or Heat Soul and your opponent's turn is dead, it does nothing in him. And B, isn't a Small World bridge. You can't add it off a Small World, and it's not a starter for Small World. So every hand trap in here, I want to be live at all times. Most times, you know, Gamma is, you take that risk. But I want every single card I draw that's a hand trap to be live at all times, to be a bridge for Small World, or to be searchable off Small World. That's the main deck. It's a type 40. If you wanted to change something, now that Gamma is getting hit, you would cut Gamma, play 3 of maybe like Imperm or Ghost Mourner if you want, and then maybe you would replace this with like the second copy of Sigma. Or you can maybe replace like the second Triple Tactics talent in the main for Sigma. But that is the main deck. On to the extra deck now. For Link Monsters, we are on the 1, this guy's got a long ass name, Firewall, Dragon Darkwood, Neo Tempest, Terahertz. This card is really good because it sends, first of all, it's an OTK machine. This card is nuts. I won my final game in finals by activating this, sending Nabla. Nabla let it attack twice, and then this was at 55. So it was essentially just like access code at home, and I just like poke for game. Now the cards you're sending are Aggregator. Okay. Aggregator, when it's sent to graveyard, targets any card on field to negate its effects. This essentially turns this guy into that one, I think it's Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, the one that's like target a card on field negate. And then you can also send this. This is as long as you control a Link 4 or higher Cyber monster, you can bash this on your grave to negate a spell trap. So this means that you can send one on your turn, you're sending this on your turn, and this on the opponent's. And it essentially turns this one guy into a spell trap negate and a Omni negate, which is very, very good. Like, example, this is really crazy against like any type of E-Telly effect. So say they go like super heavy samurai, they'll go like, I think it's Soul Peacemaker is the E-Telly. They'll go like Soul Peacemaker effect, you'll go, cool, chain, send this. In a new chain, those special scales, chain link 1 scales, chain link 2 this, because this has to be chain link 2 because they're turn player and you're not. You'll target that, negate it. This is really good against pendulum effects. Again, super heavy. They go scale Wakashi, you go, cool, effect, send, dump, new chain, negate. It's also good against Kashtira. They go like special a unicorn or activate a birth, and you go, cool, chain, send. And if they special like Fenrir has to be chain link 1, this has to be chain link 2, so Fenrir won't be able to bash your stuff and unicorn won't be able to look at your extra. These 3 I think are mandatory. This guy came out in Syak, and it essentially enables him because this is the second good thing you can send. And I think, like, you have lines where the new Firewall card's Defensor is a 1-card him, and this card is very good. It's a great on-field boss monster. I love that this now replaces Decode Talker Heat Soul. Also, this is what you're doing if you get drolled. Plan B, this guy can win you games. Like, this guy, 2 hand traps in your hand, that can just be enough to get you to the next turn where you can then circular or diameter or something. For your actual links, or well, not actual, but you know, links, access code talker because it's wins you games. Decode talker, it comes up in some lines still, like on your god end boards, your end board is like this guy in the EMZ, this guy, and then like super factorial. That does open up the lava golem, so I wouldn't do it games 2 and 3, but game 1, that's fine. I never got golemed or Kaiju'd actually game 1, I don't know why, even though Kaiju's a main deck, but whatever. Trans, amazing card, absolutely incredible, probably the MVP, just lets you link spam to all hell. It lets you summon this guy turn 1 and this guy on the crackback, very good. 2 Splash Mage, one of these can be your flex spot. I chose 2 because A, you're using 1 in combo a lot of turns game 1. In your Defensor combo, you need to use 1, so you want 2 for the crackback. And then also, I think this card is very important against Kashtira. If you get into a grind game against them and they snipe more than 1 card, sometimes, usually they'll snipe access code first, and then because they don't know what this card does, they'll snipe either this card or Update Jammer. And I think you need to have 2 of this because this card is too good to not have. You want it to grind against Cash. This card's like one of the MVPs. Jeagle and Crystal Heart, essentially as long as this guy's in your extra deck, you can revive transcode on your return. So now you can use transcode turn 1 to help you make this guy to get the link material on board. So transcode is very good. Like a line you can do is turn 3, you can go summon this guy, effect summon him, effect because he still has effect summon him, effect summon another guy, and now from 2 guys on board you have 2, 5, 7, 8 link materials on board, and now any other leveled Cyberse is Update Jammer access code game, which is just like amazing. From there, the boy himself, absolutely shocked this card did not get hit on the list. No, it doesn't. Keep him at 3, baby. I love him. For your one-offs, or for your link ones, 1 Link Rebo, the best generic Link 1 in the entire game in my opinion. Card's insane. This is how you're defensoring, your normal summon defensor, linking to this defensor effect, you're off to the races from there.
Yeah, you can play to like Imperm.
Yeah, plays around Imperm as well, plays around Sword Soul Blackout, played against it in my final matches against Sword Soul.
Shout out to Ethan.
Yeah, you could even do end boards where you like leave this in your EMZ and then you have like access code talker right here, and if they try and resolution Imperm you, you're like, no. This card, insane card, absolutely love this. And then Elmirage also came up in my last match of finals where you need to normal summon a hand trap. Sometimes you have a hand trap plus exceed in hand, you just need to do something. That is fine. That turns it into a 1-card Allen Burst into Search or Circular, you're all good from there. Also, sometimes you just want another attribute in the graveyard in rotation for your access code. This is fire. You have every attribute of Link Monster in the game except for Light. You can pop like 4 cards with access code a turn. It is insane. If you're like, even if you're going for an access code and crackback, you can even go like, effect, send this from your extra deck to gain him another attack, so he'd be like dark and fire, and he'd have like 10,000 attack, and he'd have, you know, from there you're winning. For your Xyz monsters, it's a mess. 2 Alum, 1 for turn 1, 1 for turn 2, MVP, Rhoda's anything. You can even do, with the new Firewall cards, if you open Defense or Circular, it's a free 4 level 4s on board, meaning you could search this to search any spell card in the game, any spell or trap. Hypothetically, like if you're playing against, I don't know, branded or super heavy, you can just search anti-spell, and then you win the game, which is very nice. And then,
just can't play neither one.
1 Lapple. Never thought I needed to. It's what you're grabbing off of Super Factorial. It's an Omni-Negate. It's Trishula at home. It protects your guys. This card is everything you can ever want.
That card's insane.
Just moving on to side. Oh, and shout out to the White Ranger. He carried me this entire day. Yeah. Anyway, on to the side deck. You're running a small Bestial engine of 2 Magnemite, 1 Druiz. I think that you have to respect both branded and Mathmech this format, and I am siding these for them. These are killer against branded, killer against Mathmech. You even get situations where, like, say you're playing against Bestial Dragon Link, game 2 they are going to side a ass load of Bestials against you, and if they go like a Bestial on like I don't know, Sigma, you can go Chain Magnema, and yeah, you're still going neg because you're losing Sigma, but you're also going plus by having now Magnema and a Search for an end phase. I think you need to play these guys. It's also good against rogue decks. I'm sure there's at least a few rogue decks out there which just fold to this card. It's decent against Sprite too. If you run into any tier limit players who are still coping that that deck is real, you just punish them with this. I think you need to play the Bestials, at least 3, I mean. This Bell always comes in games 2 and 3 because you kind of instant lose to a Bestial sometimes.
Yeah, Bestial on you when you use Super Factorial.
Yeah, you need this to resolve. So this is both protection for you, protects against Call By, Bestials, DD Trump. But it's also just good in some matchups. It's good against Mathmech. It's good against Branded. Like, these 3 cards also instantly stop the lock, the gimmick puppet lock, yeah. So I think you need to run these 3 because you gotta respect Brand in this format. Even if it's not the best deck, it is still a deck that I think you need to be aware of. These 3 are Graveyard Hate and Graveyard Protection in a way. 2 Nib, it's good against combo decks. It can be 50-50 against Super Heavy if they have if they're playing the
Stardust
Dragon in their extra, you kind of get punished. If they don't, you probably win the game. Like this plus any other hand trap, you're probably winning. It's maybe decent against, like, I don't know, if your Kashtira opponent decides that they want to play into it, you win the game if you nib them. That's why it's only at 2. It's not crucial to open, but nib plus something else kind of nice, you know. Last card, Pank. I can't afford Fenrir. Moving on. The last 2 talents. Going second, you want them because obviously it's an insane board breaker, and because even if you're playing against a deck that you know plays a shitload of hand traps, like in the mirror, I would always bring these in because it's like, oh cool, you hit me with 2 hand traps, nice, Pot of Greed, or nice, look at your hand. So they always come in going second against combo decks at least, and they always come in against decks that have a lot of hand traps. Also, this card is nice if you get shiftered. I bring this in against Cash a lot because if they shifter you, and you're still able to put up like a measly board, at least you can look at their hand, or at least you can draw 2 cards to maybe draw into like a, I don't know, what's the best thing against Cash? Like a Effect Veiler, that's pretty good against Cash. I don't like Labyrinth, and then I don't like Super Heavy Samurai. This card, crazy. You can search all 4 of these, or 6 of these, off of Alum Version if you want to. It didn't come up, but I had the opportunity in one game to Harpy's Feather Duster someone. Didn't do it, still won that game anyway, it doesn't matter, but I think this deck is very good this format. Circular to 1, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt your consistency a little bit. It's gonna hurt your grind game because you have no way to recycle a Circular back to your hand to proc it again. But I think now that you have Defensor, you're finding Circular just as consistently, so consistency isn't an issue. And then your grind game is decent enough because, again, Defensor, really crazy. Also, Diameter. If you open Defensor Diameter, then not only can you chain block and play around the Duel, but you can also search the Diameter for follow-up. So I think that Circular to 1 hurts. The deck will still be good. I'm still going to say it is at minimum a tier 1.5 deck, maybe even tier 1. For reference, after the ban list, I would say super heavy is like tier 2 because of how hard they got hit. I think this deck is still fine. It is still meta. It's low meta, but it's still meta nonetheless. I would definitely be side decking for it. I think the Bestials this format are a must. And that's all I gotta say.
You got any shoutouts?
Oh yeah, shout out my boy Ethan. I had to do it to him in finals.
Like the usual.
Yeah. Clean 2-0, but you know, he put up a good fight and he's my ride home, so I gotta be nice to him.
Exactly.
And also, you know, shout out everybody from AU, the entire gang. There's like 20 people I want to name, but I can't in this one video. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I wouldn't be here without y'all. Thank you so much. And special shout out though, Matt. You built this deck for me, and you like theory crafted it with me when I was sitting down with you talking about it. I guess you deserve an extra big shout out because you gave me some ratios and stuff. That's about it, actually. See you guys. Oh, and subscribe. Hit the bell. Like. Leave a comment.
Dragon Duel champion.
Yeah.